Hello and welcome to Channel's Book Club. I'm Olakunle Kasumo. Last week we introduced you to this book titled Pop Errors in English, Writers Beware, written by Segun Omolayo, a former Nigerian diplomat, broadcaster, editor, and writer. Remember the statistics we shared from Ethnologue, Languages of the World? In case you missed it, the annual reference publication says there are 983 million people in the world who speak the English language. That's about 13% of the world's population. Of those who speak English, about 372 million speak it as their first language, while about 611 million speak it as a second language. We also shared this from the British Council. 25% of the world's population has some understanding of English language. As you know, English is Nigeria's lingua franca, and when you consider the fact that it's a country with a population close to 200 million, you'll agree that Nigerians make up a large fraction of those who speak and write in English. This is why our book of the week, Pop Errors in English, Writers Beware, interests us. It examines popular errors writers commit in various ways. It discusses rules commonly violated in writing and suggests ways to avoid such errors. We promised to get the author, Prince Segun Omolayo, on the show, and so he joins us today to discuss the book and things related. Enjoy this. Prince, thank you for joining us on Channel's Book Club.
Thank you very much, Kole, for having me here.
And good book you have here, Pop Errors in English, Writers Beware. And I mean, as somebody who writes myself, I found it very fascinating. And guilty as charged. A lot of the things you wrote here.
It's all of us. Anybody who writes anything can violate some of the rules,
true.
That's presented there. Yeah.
Let's. You are UN trained writer, editor, rewriter. Can you explain that a bit?
Yes, what it means is that throughout my time in the UN, I got a lot of training. Of course, the best you can get in terms of training. Some of this training happened in the University of Defense in Oslo, that's in Norway. Some of the training happened in Italy, because the idea is to give you the best. And this was dictated by the nature of the job I did. Every day I spent in the UN, I sat on my desk receiving inputs from colleagues from far afield. These inputs I edit, I refine, some I rewrite and package into key reports that go to the front office. And that is how, from all over the world, the Secretary General gets to know what is happening in this corner, what is happening in that corner.
That's a lot of work.
So that is, yes, it's a lot of work. But very, very interesting.
So what you have here,
yes,
20 to 30 years of various experiences, observing write-ups and reports and manuscripts.
In fact, you are right to say 20 to 30 years because of my work in life. I have had to help others spruce up their writing, help refine their work. So even while I was not yet known as an editor, even when I was not yet given the job of editing anybody's job, but I have been a quality controller of some sort for other person's writings. And for close to 2 decades now, I've edited for university lecturers. I edited, I told you, throughout in the UN, and in broadcasting too, where I took the news on TV and radio. As the last gatekeeper, you take the bulletin to the studio before you read. You go through a lot of things. In fact, that is the genesis of this book. It started from errors I observed in bulletins that I read on television and radio. I started noting them, and over time, I saw that there was quite a lot. And I saw that a book was taking shape already. In fact, At the capacity building, monthly capacity building of my corporation in Ado-Ekiti at that time, where we had capacity building every month, I presented a lecture which I titled Pop Errors. I ended it there. I can tell you, Kole, the outline of that lecture which I gave, I think in 2006, formed the skeleton of this book. That's what I fleshed up.
Okay, let me run through a few examples I saw in your book. In page 14, you give an example: the monitoring and evaluation assistant has returned back.
That's
the monitoring and evaluation assistant has returned back.
Right.
And the problem here is returned back, according to you, and I totally agree. It's a very common expression, returned back. How should this be written?
Returned, that's all. The back is not required because
back.
the word re, in most words with re, they're indicating, you know, a reference to something before. So that re doesn't make that back. It's like, say, restore. You hear people say restore back. You don't restore back.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's tautological. It's you restore, you return, not return back. So, but you see, the level at which these errors are committed makes them very, very significant for highlighting, as they have been highlighted in this book, because you will be shocked to listen to ministers, to listen to governors, to listen to professors using expressions like such. Exactly. So,
okay, this is a common one. A total of approximately 1,580 civil servants are employed.
Isn't that comical?
Very comical.
It's comical because when you say a total, that suggests certitude. You are sure of what you're saying. By the time you are able to sum it up and call it total, then you should be sure of what you're saying. So approximately is not required any longer. A total of something, if you're not sure of it, you can say approximately so number of employees. Yeah.
So that should be a total of 1,580 civil servants are employed.
Exactly.